What's up, guys? Adrian Fedkiw from the Bitter Birds here with another video. And before I get started, I was able to get a hold of some of that Sex Panther cologne that Joseph Randall stole this past week in Dallas. And let me tell you, it literally stings the nostrils. I mean, there are literally bits of Panther in it. I put some on last night in Manayunk, but for whatever reason, the women, they just kept running away from me. I didn't understand. They kept telling me I smelled like monkey piss. I thought I smelled stupendous. Whatever. Freaking women. Anyway, let's get on with this video. Evan Mathis and Jason Kelce will be back before you know it. But in the meantime, can Philadelphia continue its success in the run game like it did last Sunday night against the New York Giants? Or was it a one-game aberration? Whether it was the power of the smoothies or what, the Eagles' offensive line started all 17 games a year ago. A lot of people, I'm sure you know that. But this year, different story. You can drink all the damn smoothies you want, but you can't prevent chop blocks and hits to the knees. You just can't. You can't do it. And if you didn't realize how important LaShawn McCoy was to the offense, you found out Sunday, didn't you? When he gets going, it literally opens up the entire offense. When you can run the ball, it opens up the play-action pass and sets up more manageable third down situations. The quarterback also sees less pressure, and let's face it, when Nick Foles gets rushed and isn't able to set his feet, he's been making mistakes. He hasn't been accurate. For example, Sunday night, Foles' stats when not pressured: 19 of 24, 224 yards, and a touchdown. But when he was under duress, just 2 of 10 for 24 yards with a touchdown and 2 picks. Yeah. But let's get to the offensive line, because there's a couple of reasons why the running game got going Sunday. Obviously, for the first time all season, Shady had huge running lanes to run through, and he exploded through those holes. Shady is at his best, making people miss on the second level. And for the first time all season, the linemen were actually getting to the second level on a consistent basis. The Giants also didn't stack 8 men in the box like every other defense has this season. I mean, we know they're not the smartest organization, and they got beat. They got beat bad. McCoy also wasn't dancing around as if he was auditioning for Dancing with the Stars. He was patiently waiting for those holes to open up and exploded like I do when I get 30 seconds with the pocket pussy. Yeah. By the way, when his playing career is over, he will be on Dancing with the Stars, and when he is, I might actually watch it, but probably not. But yeah. Anyway, getting Lane Johnson back from his 4-game suspension was also important, and the development of David Molk is huge as well. The long arm Johnson he's proved to be a good run blocker from the get-go, right when he's come out from Oklahoma, and he's steadily improved his fluidity as a pass protector. By the way, how freaking good was Molk on Sunday on those pool sweeps? He was literally offensive line MVP that night. I mean, he does tend to get overpowered during pass protection. I mean, he's not really the biggest of stature, but his skills in the running game showed. I mean, granted, Molk isn't as agile and quick as Kelce is, but quite frankly, nobody in the NFL is at that center position. With Johnson's return, it allowed the Eagles to plug Todd Herremans back at right guard, and he, along with Molk, were, again, fantastic, pulling on those sweep plays along the boundary. The Todd father is the longest tenured Eagle, and he's smart, and he's a strong run blocker. He does tend to struggle in pass protection against inferior talent. So, the only question mark on the line now, as long as, Molk can keep progressing, is Matt Tobin. Tobin really struggled against the Rams. He was awful. Stunk. He stunk bad. But he didn't look as bad against New York. He kind of held his own a little bit. Obviously, the main cog on the line remains Jason Peters, who has, returned to that elite level after suffering an Achilles injury in 2012. Lateral quickness, incredible. And he was so good against Jason Pierre-Paul on Sunday that New York actually moved them over to the other side to combat with Lane Johnson. Yeah, so that's how good he was Sunday. The Eagles also added some wrinkles in their blocking scheme, as you saw this against the Rams. Sometimes Peters lined up next to Johnson on the right side of the line, and Johnson on Sunday was sometimes on the left side of the line with Peters. So Yeah, they were doing that, trying to get the running game going. But overall, Philly stuck with its bread and butter running plays, the inside zone and the power sweep. I thought maybe the Birds would go more north-south like they did against St. Louis in the second half, but you got to credit Chip Kelly for, sticking to his guns. Another reason for perhaps the improved rushing attack could be simply cohesiveness. The Eagles started the same 5 guys on the line for a second straight game. Let's hope that, this game of musical chairs is over. Just like a wide receiver has to be on the same page with his quarterback, a running back has to build trust within his offensive line. So let's look back just really quickly just to see how bad some of these starting lineups were. Week 2 against the Colts. Jason Peters, left tackle. Dennis Kelly, left guard. Jason Kelce was your center. Todd Herman's your right guard. And Andrew Gardner was your right tackle as Johnson was still, was in suspension. Week 4, an abomination. Awful. Jason Peters, left tackle. Tobin, left guard. David Molk, your center. Dennis Kelly was your right guard, and then they moved the Todd father out to the right tackle. So did you really expect McCoy to get going behind that? Well, he didn't. 10 carries, 17 yards. That's why the Eagles didn't cross midfield until the last 4 minutes. By the way, that last drive was, second to last drive it turned out to be. That was phenomenal. To get 5 first downs all game and they get 6 on that drive, incredible. Yeah, we're 2 yards away from being 6-0. But I'll take 5-1 is 5-1. It's fine. But the offense was one-dimensional that game. Foles threw the ball 43 times. Yeah. Andy Reid was not in Philadelphia for that one. Anyway, the line this season really reminds me of 2012. Eagles O-line got decimated. That was the year, Peters got hurt. Shady averaged just 3.8 yards a carry over his last 8 games. And, right now he's averaging 3.6 yards a tote this year. He came into that Sunday night game averaging, I believe it was 2.9 yards a carry. So, was the Giants game an aberration? Or will the Eagles continue to have success on the ground? I still think it's a little bit too early to tell. I still want to see how they do running against an 8-man box. But there are signs of life. Yeah, all of a sudden, Shady is 5th in the NFL in rushing. How crazy is that? He is 2nd in the NFL, however, in carries with 116. DeMarco Murray leads the way with an astonishing 159. I mean, they are just pounding the shit out of him in Dallas. Yeah, so by the time December rolls around and Romophobia kicks in, he might be out of gas. Anyway, that's all for today. Make sure you listen to our radio show on Blog Talk Radio. Follow us on Twitter @TheBitterBirds. As for me, I got to get ready for work, covering that Florida State Notre Dame game tonight in Tallahassee. I think both teams are overrated, but the Seminoles are probably going to sneak their way into that playoff because they got a cupcake schedule. They play, Notre Dame this week, Louisville next week, and then after that, woo, should be smooth sailing. Unless, Jameis decides to steal more crab legs. Yeah. Crab legs. Yum skis. Yeah, anyway, I'm out of here. Later, guys.